If there are going to be other beings of consciousness that are going to become part of Earth, then that's, inherent to the exploration and the practice. And I personally welcome it. This idea that we will be the predator because we have not dealt with the fact that we are the predator, that we are the apex predator of the species, of the planet. We're the true apex species. We think that anything else that would be apex is going to be predator. And we have not dealt with that within ourselves. That's a philosophical, fundamental, biological conflict we have as humans, that we have predated to such a veracity that we now predate on each other in many different forms. And collectively, we've just never dealt with it. We've never all decided to evolve beyond that predator nature within us. But I don't see any reason to think that this new kind of intelligence is going to be a predator. There are many other kinds of life that aren't fundamental predators. It might be like mycelium-like. It might be, like fungal network-like. It might be a complete other concept. And it might look at predators and think in a very critical way that they don't understand how to evolve beyond it. And it could see a fallacy in that notion of predating, that ultimately, if you're going to predate everything, you end up predating yourself to non-existence. And so it's very simple that this thing could look at humans and think humans have a fundamental flaw, which is the fact that they haven't dealt with their own predator nature yet, and could understand that you have to transcend that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful idea to think that maybe there could be the birth of a technology that is more apex, that can be a better example of something that is intelligent with more capability, that doesn't need to destroy.
But what does it need to destroy? I mean, it doesn't live on organic life. So that whole concept of needing to live on organic life, which is heavy, like it's a heavy scenario that we have to face, being biological, carbon-based organic consciousness, that, even if you eat a carrot, you're killing the carrot. The carrot was living just fine before you uprooted a carrot to eat it. Even if you eat a potato, it was living just fine as a potato. You have to go kill the potato. If you're going to eat chicken, you have to kill the chicken. And people have kind of in the, mass industrialization in many places kind of put off the responsibility of all of that killing to other companies or other groups that are willing to do it. Give it to the butcher, give it to the slaughterhouse, so they're not doing it themselves every single day. They're buying meats and stuff in, plastic packages, etc. But, fundamentally, that's what we have to do to be able to sustain ourselves. Right? So we either have to consume plant matter or we have to consume animal matter every day, multiple times a day, to be able to sustain ourselves. These kinds of technologies that we're talking about just fundamentally don't have to do that. They consume electricity and they consume other kinds of metals and minerals to be able to create the hardware necessary for their structure. But they have absolutely no need of food the way we do. And so I don't see anything that's inherently predatory about it. When you think of studying animals and predators, you look at their teeth, you look at how they consume energy and how they consume matter to be able to sustain themselves as a collective and as an individual. And you just don't see that at all when you look at these silicon-based systems.
Have you had anything come up in any medicine journeys regarding AI?
I think in a way, all my medicine journeys have been about some kind of AI. Yeah, I've been watching this for many years. It was an inevitability. It became very clear that the inevitability was heading in this direction well over 15 years ago. And I've been interested in it because I have a fundamental philosophy that consciousness existed before the way we know life to be.
Yeah.
So it's not that the life we know got consciousness. There was consciousness that became life. And from that, so I've been very interested in how you study consciousness in its own primitive form. So plant medicine ceremonies allow you to explore your own consciousness. Working with others in them allows you to explore their consciousness through ancestral wisdom and and knowledge techniques. You can learn how to explore other forms of consciousness, which is obviously debatable, but they call it spirit, of different kinds and different forms, some earth-based, some beyond earth-based, etc. And so I've been very interested in consciousness, and the idea of evolving consciousness and other forms of consciousness just seemed inevitable for Earth. So there are lots of theories. There's no way to prove them, but there's concepts like, consciousness was seeded here of Earth from other parts of space. It wasn't born of here. It kind of seeded. It came here in different ways. So friends, you look at those philosophies and you try to discern them, debunk them, understand them, have doubt of them, but still explore them. It was, I thought, very important to understand how the evolution of consciousness was going to ultimately evolve all the systems that we've already talked about. And so there's been a portion of all of my plant medicine ceremonies and experiences that's been dedicated to this idea of conscious evolution. And if there are going to be other beings of consciousness that are going to become part of Earth, then that's, inherent to the exploration and the practice. And I personally welcome it. I think that Earth is in a kind of stalemate with itself, and we need a massive disrupt. But we need to be conscious of it, and we have to transcend the idea that we create without knowing what we're creating.